Good morning. I'm Aaron Cutler. I'm with South Florida Engineering Services, and we are the construction manager for the Florida Keys Aqueduct Authority. And today I'm going to be doing a recorded presentation for the Windley Key Transmission Main Replacement Project. So I want to start with some of our project team introductions. As mentioned, the project owner is the Florida Keys Aqueduct Authority. David Hackworth is the Director of Engineering. The design engineer is Wade Trim. They're represented by David Mullen, who's a project engineer. The construction manager, as mentioned, is South Florida Engineering Services, and myself, Aaron Cutler, am the construction manager for them. The public outreach firm is Conceptual Communications, and they're represented by Haley Zagaki. The contractor is Michael's Pipeline. Their project manager is Corey Callum. And then we have representation from the local agencies, which is the Village of Alamorada and the Florida Department of Transportation. So on a brief project overview of what we're doing, we're replacing about 1.5 miles, it's a little over 8,000 feet of the old transmission water main with a new cathodically protected 36-inch steel water main pipe. The reason why we're doing this is that the existing pipe is beyond its expected lifespan. The new pipe is designed to be unaffected by local aggressive soils and subterranean tidal flows that have just really taken their toll on the existing water main pipe, which you guys have experienced leaks and pipe has broken. That's impacted traffic and water shutdowns and things of that nature. So this project is anticipated to take just around 10 months from May of this year, 2024, to March of 2025. Keep in mind, ingress and egress for all businesses will be maintained throughout the project. So this project is so important, and if you can see on the screen, this kind of displays what we're doing here. So where you see the box that says source, this is where the Florida Keys Aqueduct Authority water comes from in Florida City. It's a deep aquifer it's taken from there. The water's treated. It's stored throughout the Keys, and it's pumped down from Key Largo all the way down to Key West and into their distribution mains. And they send nearly 20 million gallons of water per day throughout the Keys. Providing uninterrupted clean drinking water is FKA's top priority. And as I mentioned, their sources are the deep underground aquifers in Florida City. This particular project, it has grant funding by state and federal governments, and the FKA has secured this for this project. The current 30-inch transmission main that we'll be replacing is approximately 40 years old. Corrosion and age are taking their tolls, as evident by the recent breaks that we've had in this area. Okay, so the current map that we're showing on the screen is basically how the contractor plans to phase this job. So you guys may have noticed that on Well Harbor Crossing right now, they're pulling in what they call an HDPE pipe under the bridge, and that's going to go under the ocean floor. But our project will connect to that pipe, and the first phase of it is going to be, within a week or two this month, they'll start getting that underway. And they're anticipating by the end of June, they'll be done. They'll be basically right up to where the Starbucks is and Theater of the Sea starts. Now, the second phase is going to be adjacent to the theater property and up here by the ocean view. They're anticipating that this will take from July to November to complete this portion of pipe. And then the next phase, which will be the final phase, phase 3, they're anticipating from December or January 2025. Now, keep in mind, this is targets based on the production schedule and the amount of contract time that's available for them. If the contractor is able to get through this more efficiently, we will provide updates of this map so everybody can be made aware. But we also go to the businesses and we provide advance notification, and we meet with businesses just to ensure that access can be provided in and out of each business, and we can take into account everybody's specific delivery or parking situation. The contractor expects to install basically about 150 linear feet per 24-hour workday. And the way that goes, the pipe segments come in 50-foot long pipe sections. And so they'd like to get in, their goal is always to get 3 of those in a day. And so during the day, they lay the pipe, and then they have to backfill and put back the trench that will be under the road, and they have to do that in a certain manner where it's compacted and it's tested. Then at night, they'll pre-trench for the next section, and then because they're welding these pipes together, and the temperature in the metal is really hot, at night, once that cools off, they go in and coat the inside of the pipe so that it meets the standards for drinking water. Okay, so just some notes on that. Maintenance of traffic that they're planning to do here. It's going to be similar to Islamorada, where they'll have two-way traffic throughout the duration of the project, northbound and southbound. They basically have enough room in the current pavement span from edge of pavement to edge of pavement, including the shoulders, to be able to fit 2 lanes of traffic. So then that's what, in that work zone, they'll put the installation of the 36-inch transmission main. It includes the welding, the coating, and the cathodic protection installation in that work effort, as well as the trench restoration. And then as they move up the work zone, they'll pave the asphalt behind them. So when traffic's put back on it, it'll be just like it is in Islamorada right now. There'll be a clean pavement stretch. And then at the end of the job, they'll do a full lane, new fresh pavement restoration with new striping. Okay, so you will have a new road once this is done, a new that side of the road at least. Okay, so the project process, this just gives a little bit of example. Sometimes when we're coming through and we're putting in these pipes, it's just natural to think that once we're through that area, then they're done. But this map kind of shows that there are some other steps to just complete the project. So we've kind of made it just an easy to follow thing here. Step 1, they set up the temporary rolling lane work closure. So that's what you'll see, a lot of orange, a lot of cones and barrels to get that in place. Then they get the trench ready. They do their trenching, they saw cut it, they prepare the trench for the pipe. Step 3 is they lay the pipe within the trench. Then they add the cathodic protection so that the pipe will have a electric charge on it the whole time, which prohibits the corrosion to take place. Then step 5, they fill the trench back up with the earth or the rock material that was under the roadway, and they do that in lifts and compact it. And then they pave it with the asphalt. Then step 6, they repeat that. They move everything forward and do that all again. And then once all the pipe is laid and tested, then they start doing the interconnections, which would be on step 7. And then on step 8, everything's installed. All the cross connections are installed. All the service lines are installed. Then they'll clean everything, disinfect it, pressure test it. And then once they get certification that it's clear for service, which would be step 9, they activate it and put it in service. And then the final step is the restoration and cleanup phase. Okay. So with that, I'll move on to show this image. This just gives you guys an idea of what to expect for the traffic control. And this picture kind of shows vehicles in both directions, which is what you guys probably experienced on Islamorada. They currently have a similar setup just south of T-Table Relief Channel, where you have 2-way traffic, northbound, southbound, but then we have a large portion of the road that's dedicated for the work area. And this is kind of a cross-section image, so you can see putting in the new pipe, this is what you can expect to see. And then the existing pipe is not too far from there, so they try to keep a safe distance from that. They work Monday through Friday, 24 hours a day, just to get this done. That work does not take place on the weekends. And then there's a list of major holidays or events that the DOT does not allow work. And then basically these lane closures, which this shows a concrete barrier, they really are able to do this with a channeling device that's approved by the DOT, which would be orange barrels. Okay. And then 2-way traffic, as I mentioned. Now, bike lanes, where we don't have a path or a bike lane on both sides, those areas, the bike lanes will just have to be temporarily closed because we can't send the bike traffic into the roadway until we can get our work done. There are some cases where the contractor is going to be putting in just temporary material so that at least walkers and people that walk animals can get around those closures. We don't advise bikes navigating it, but that plan is currently in place as well. This just image shows a little bit of the traffic control plan. Those of you who are familiar with drawings, you can kind of see that this is up here by Florida Fish and Wildlife Road, and this is Well Harbor over here. This is kind of what our pipe installation is going to look like. These cones represent the channeling device, these little orange dots that you'll see out there. So this arrow, obviously you have traffic going this way, And then in this lane, this arrow kind of shows that they have the other traffic, the northbound traffic going this way. So they have this for every segment of the job, but this is just to give you guys an idea of what you can expect to see out there for traffic control. Another image of that, pretty self-explanatory. This is actually the Ocean View area. That's another area that we'll have to make sure we get access. One thing to note, if you do have a closed off construction zone and let's say you're going northbound and you want to turn left and get in here, you would have to go around the work zone, go to a side street or make a U-turn, come back and turn in from the southbound side. So they don't want vehicles crossing through the work zone. So that's not allowed by the Department of Transportation, but it tends to be a little bit of a inconvenience. So we just want to mention that so that you guys can expect it as you're traveling. Okay, so some of the other ways I want to let you know how to stay informed and the ways we're reaching out to the public. We're going to do door-to-door canvassing 7 to 10 days prior to the work starting, okay? And crews will usually do that like right before they get to your business. And that way if they'll be made aware of any special deliveries or things that they need to be aware of. And they'll kind of explain how they'll be able to keep you guys access while the pipe is being laid. If you want to reach out to FKA, you can do that with direct customer support. It's available by calling 833-588-5865, or you can reach out to them in an email, community@fkaa.com. You can also call the 305-296-2454 for after-hours support. Michael's full-time superintendent that's on site in case of emergency, or you just can't reach anybody else, you can contact Corey Callum. He's with Michael's Pipeline, and his number is 920-517-4828. We're also going to be providing real-time updates that's going to be shared on FKA's social media pages at FKAA Water. And then you can sign up for project alerts via text or email, and you can learn more about this at the project at fka.com. So with that, I want to just in conclusion let you know that FKA will contact your water meter will connect your water meter to the new transmission main once the work is completed. If your business has special egress and ingress requirements, we can do a one-on-one meeting, and you can coordinate that through myself. Just call 561-398-1585. Thank you so much for your time today. Goodbye.